Hello, this is Chris Walrath, and I'm not going to do photography reviews today. It's January 16th, 2013. On Monday, January 14th, the state of Delaware, Governor Jack Markell, along with Lieutenant Governor Denn and Attorney General Beau revealed a five-fold plan for firearms owners in Delaware. Basically, it's gun safety legislation is what they are revealing, what they want to try to pass here in the state of Delaware, to coincide with what they're trying to do nationally. Don't get me started on nationally, because nationally has no business in Delaware. Delaware decides what Delaware does, especially in this regard. I digress. To quote Governor Markell from a press conference that was held on Monday, January 14th. In the wake of recent events, it is clear we need to do more. Along with Lieutenant Governor Denn and Attorney General Beau, I am pleased to announce our unified gun safety agenda. No one wants guns in the hands of people with ill intent. Instead, we must enact stronger laws to protect our communities. That's a direct quote from the governor from the press conference. Governor Markell stated that with this five-fold plan, the five laws that they are going to try to pass, that he expects heated debate and hopes to engage in civil discussion about these matters. But he said that what needs to be done is threefold: to improve access to treatment for young people with mental illness, to improve school safety, and to improve gun laws. He said that he would address the first two of those in his State of the State address, and then he went on to cover the proposed gun legislation. And he introduced the first two of the five. The first of the five bills they're going to try to pass is going to require background checks for all private sales. It says that no source was cited, but he states that 60% of all gun sales in the state of Delaware involved an FFL, or a licensed firearms dealer. And 40% of all firearm sales in Delaware are between private owner and private purchaser. They're not logged with state databases. They're not reported. With no source cited, it's hard to tell whether these are all actual sales or whether they're repeat sales of registered guns, or, I don't approve of the background checks for private sales. Because let's say I want to sell my XD40 and I want to get a Taurus Judge, but I need to fund getting the Taurus by selling the one, and I have a friend who has applied for and lawfully has and uses a concealed carry permit. He wants to buy it. I'm more than happy to sell it to him, but now I'm not allowed to if they pass this bill. I do not approve of that. I should be able to sell it to somebody. I'm not going to sell it to someone who walks in and his eyes are all bugged out and everything, and you can see the blood veins and they look like an interstate map or anything. Most of us use our common sense, whether the government realizes that or not. The second one that he said was going to try to be passed was mandatory reporting of lost or stolen firearms. This is sponsored. The first one, by the way, the background checks, that was going to be proposed by Representative Valerie Longhurst of the 15th Representative District. The second one, mandatory reporting of lost or stolen firearms. Citizens will have 48 hours to report a lost or stolen firearm. So that way, if anything is lost, then the government can get right to trying to track it down, find out where it is. If it's involved in a crime, they might be able to find out faster the path of how the gun got into the hand of the criminal. This law is going to be sponsored by Senator Margaret Rose Henry, 2nd Senatorial District. This one I've got mixed emotions on. Anything to help law enforcement track down whoever committed a crime. I believe in putting those tools in their hands. But the conspiracy theorist in me says, okay, they decide to come collect my guns, and I tell someone, oh no, I lost that, or I sold it to some other dude, I don't have it anymore. Well, then they can get me for that. So that's the conspiracy theorist in me. I mean, I can't deny it. It's who I am, a little bit. But, I got mixed emotions on that one. Then Governor Markell, he yielded the podium to the Lieutenant Governor Matt Denn, who rose to introduce the third piece of legislation after stating that the administration would not bury their heads in the sand and pretend that gun violence had nothing to do with guns. Okay. The third is limiting large capacity magazines or ammunition feeding devices. Handgun magazines would be limited to 10 or less round capacity and 5 rounds or less for shotguns or rifles. Currently owned magazines would be grandfathered into exclusion as long as they are not used in public. This legislation is co-sponsored by Senator Karen E. Peterson of the 9th Senatorial District and Representative John L. Mitchell Jr. of the 13th Representative District. I do not agree with this. My XD40, it comes standard with a 9-round magazine and a 12-round magazine. I get the 9-round magazines because they don't print so greatly when I am carrying concealed. But say I wanted to get a 9mm, an XD9. Well, those come from the factory with a minimum magazine of 13 rounds. Well, now that gun is no longer legal to own because you cannot buy it with 10 rounds or less. Any 9mm, smaller caliber, semi-automatic pistols. Have you seen any kind of a magazine for a .22 long rifle, hunting rifle that has anywhere close to only 5 rounds in it? There are a lot of old rabbit and bird guns that are going to be illegal now because they carry more than 5 in the magazine. I do not agree with this. I really do not. It makes no sense. You're making laws that restrict the law-abiding citizens, the ones that aren't breaking the laws. The ones that are breaking laws don't give a crap what you have to say or what laws you pass. They do not care. They don't. The fourth one, the Attorney General, Beau Biden, he came up to the podium. And he said the fourth one is going to be an assault weapons ban. This legislation would ban any and all automatic and semi-automatic weapons designed for military use and having military features. This bill is still in the works, so nobody is sponsoring it. It's not completed the way that they want it to be worded. They say they are still working on it. But the Attorney General sees that he expects it to be a big fight to try to get this one passed. To paraphrase, he stated that it was going to be a debate between those who don't believe that this tramples on the Second Amendment and those who do. I want to tell you, if I want to buy an AR-15, I want to buy an AR-15. I'm probably not going to, but if I want to, I want to have the freedom to do that. If I'm going to buy a Remington Model 700 rifle, scope it out, get it ready to go, bolt action, I want to be able to buy that. I want to be able to purchase firearms that I want to, because I'm not going to climb a clock tower on anybody. I like going to the range and going boom boom. I enjoy doing that. And I enjoy doing that with different kinds of weapons. The fifth one, and this is the one that really gets my goat, and anybody who carries concealed or anybody who knows firearm laws at all, you're going to start laughing when you hear this. If you don't already know what it is and you haven't picked yourself up off the floor yet. They want to ban possession of a firearm within 1,000 feet of a school. This will not apply to residents being allowed to own firearms in their homes that happen to be within 1,000 feet of a school. This will not affect concealed carry permit holders who carry in conformity to the permit regulations. This legislation is sponsored by Representative Darrell M. Scott, 31st District. To Representative Scott and to Attorney General Beau Biden, I have this to say. It's already a stinking law. What are you thinking? Really? This is a law. This is already a law. This is a law. I know this because I have a concealed carry permit and I know the laws, so that way I can follow them and I can be in conformity and I can know the law. This is a law. sorry. Rant concluded. I digress. So, that is the 5 bills that are going to be proposed. I've gone to legis.delaware.gov. That's legis.delaware.gov. You can track legislation there in the General Assembly for the state of Delaware. These bills have not been actually introduced at this point. They will be. I'm going to be keeping a close eye on it. And just wanted to make you all aware of what's going on here in the first state, the wee little old state of Delaware. Nowhere better in the world to live. Unless you're next door to a Starbucks. Have a good night, guys. Be safe. Love you.